Good evening. Welcome to Truth Unsighted. This is your host, V Rod. Just coming back live again. I wanted to talk about what's been going on lately as far as freedom of speech, the Charlie Kirk assassination more than a week ago, and Jimmy Kimmel is back on ABC, uh, The Late Show, live with Jimmy Kimmel. Um, and I saw what he has said, the monologue and everything, and the apology. So I really like the sincerity. You could see he was really emotional about it. But it's definitely a topic that a lot of people were talking about, on both sides, as far as how we need to be careful as far as what we say, but also that we have the freedom to say what we want to say. With Kimo, in my opinion, the timing was not correct. At the end of the day, I don't think he should be canceled for that. But at the end of the day, the Disney has to answer to sponsors and everything else. So it's the same thing that happened years ago with Tucker, Roseanne, and a whole bunch of people that got canceled. And what happened for 4 years that you couldn't say anything because if you had an inclination to the Republican Party, you were going to be canceled by the left. You would not have any business as far as if you were an actor, you would not get any roles, no jobs, nothing like that. So it is a little hypocrite for one side to complain about the other as far as freedom of speech. The thing and the reason why is because there's a lot of receipts now. There's a lot of receipts. Whatever you say, there's somebody that's gonna go ahead and dig that clip up and make you look like a fool. So those days, little by little, are basically putting people in their place. When you don't, when you're actually playing both sides or playing the narrative, and not really uphold what is it that you say you want to uphold, whatever the value is that you say you have. Censorship, I think that is not a good thing. I know that in social media, there's a lot of people that have opinions. A lot of people that have either conspiracies they want to do, they want to shell out, whatever it is, they have that right. But it's up for other people to be able to call people out when they're wrong. When it comes to things that are black and white, we want to call balls and strikes. Like I said, and I don't think the government should be involved into censoring people. I don't think we should be hearing from the head of the FCC how they want to do things, uh, because at the end of the day, it's a free country. It's a free country, and definitely was unfortunate. And Jimmy Kimmel had to pay the price temporary for his actions, because it was not of the timing was not correct, to be able to make jokes as far as what happened, as far as who did it, etc. Want to be able to tone things down, not to amplify, not to gaslight people. Most of these people that commit these crimes are not well. Okay, this is my opinion. Most of these people are just mentally not there, because for you to be able to want to hurt other people, just that, forget just wanting to hurt somebody, that you want to kill them or unalive them, if you want to say that, uh then you're not well. Then you need some type of help, professional help, to be able to get you in a good place mentally. A lot of people are trying to put people in sides. Like all the people on the left are all of it's all violence. All the people on the right, it's all this. You're done. That's what it is. I don't think that we should censor anybody. I don't think that one person represents everybody. I don't think Donald Trump represents all Republicans. I don't think that some far left people represent all the left or the right, etc. There are people that voted because there was an issue that they identify with, and that's why they voted. Kamala Harris is did her book, and she's going around doing her book tour, and she basically shit on everybody for that campaign, everybody that so-called tried to help her. Uh, and now looking at it, I mean, we had two choices. I believe America chose the correct choice based on what we see now, based on the behavior, based on everything that has happened since with Kamala Harris. I don't think she was equipped, not even as a vice president, to be able to lead the country, and worse as a president. There's a relief that's going around the world when it comes to Kamala Harris. At the end, let everybody talk. I've seen one thing, that when there's people from the opposite sides that could be screaming on their own shows and this and that and talking about the other person, when they're in the same room, that energy changes. When they're in the same room, the hostility goes out the window. People don't have that same fire when they're in front of the other person and they want to be able to debate. We need to continue to debate. If you don't like the opinions of somebody, or you think the person's wrong, let them talk. Let them illustrate, or let them advertise their ignorance by talking. Okay? That thing is, I don't want to give nobody a platform. No, you probably are afraid that you are going to be wrong, or you're probably afraid that you're gonna be found out. That you probably are a seller or a fool, or somebody that has no idea what they're saying. It doesn't have any idea where they stand. Okay? Talk. Let everybody talk. If you talk and your rating goes down, that's up to you. You're gonna get fired eventually. Okay? You want to include the rest of the country to be able to have the dialogue, to be able to say that, you know what, even though you have different ideas, you are willing and welcoming to hear somebody else's opinion. Maybe you could persuade them to think differently. Maybe you could learn something from them. Maybe if you disagree, at least you understand the point they're coming from. Okay, a lot of people have a lot of opinions on social media. They do not represent the rest of the nation, the rest of Americans. Not all illegals are criminals. Okay, not all of them are the majority are not actually criminals. You could say, they're criminals since since they came in over the border and all that stuff. But we're talking about criminals as far as killing people, robbing, etc. Most of these people don't want the police around at all. And that's why they try to stay away from those type of situations or circumstances when it comes to the law and criminal activity, etc. Um, people talk about civil war. It's right now it's the divided states of America. Okay, divided states of America. We are divided. There is no civil war, but there's a lot of civil discourse right now when it comes to the country. People want to use stuff from people from the 1940s. You have to go way back to 1940s or what have you. Talk about Hitler, talk about fascists, talk about Nazi, because that's the thing that gets the clicks. That's the thing that's gonna hit home for some people. That's the thing that was gonna get people scared. Okay, I don't like a lot of things that Donald Trump has to say. I wish Donald Trump say things differently. All right, but the difference between Donald Trump and the Democratic Party, at least you know what he means. You have no idea what the Democratic Party means. Everybody wants to say something against. Well, I'm against that, but he can't tell you exactly what they're for. They cannot begin to tell you how they're going to do things differently or better. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. We want to be able to have at least the ability to have a good dialogue, the ability to actually see, you know what, and have good choices, not to see which one is the least worst that we could pick. Okay, that is not healthy. That is not the way. I know people like clicks, they want money, they want followers, and they realize they have all these people that probably, not all of a lot of people, they just love the narrative. They like the algorithm. They love staying with the hate because that's what they saw. That's the thing that I saw, that I was like kind of thinking like, wow, you know, how can you, like Trump, or how can you agree with this? You have to be delusional. But I was under the algorithm. I was listening to a certain group, and that's about it. And I went and I got my information. And I understood